What's going on, everybody? Sean Pierce Johnson here with this week's edition of Stompbox Saturday, coming to you on a Thursday. And why is that? Well, because I'm really excited about what we got on the stomping block for this week. It is the brand new Arp-87 digital delay from my friends at Walrus Audio. Walrus has sure been cranking out a lot of hits this year, from the Red that we looked at the beginning of the year to the Monument and now the Arp-87. It's not the most fully featured digital delay on the market, but what you lack in excessive features, you make up for in useful features and really well-tuned sounds. So let's go ahead and take a look at the controls, see what we're working with, and then we'll get to some of my favorite settings. You have 6 knobs on this pedal and 2 switches. You have your bypass foot switch and your tap tempo foot switch, and you can also go with a remote tap switch on the side of the pedal. The 6 knobs start out with level, which of course is going to set the level of your echo repeats, your dampen, which is going to control the high end of those repeats, obviously the number of repeats. The ratio knob is really cool. It kind of acts as like a tap tempo subdivision. We'll take a look at some of those in just a little bit. The X knob changes its function depending on what program you have selected. For 3 of the 4 delay algorithms that are built into the Arp-87, it controls the depth of a really lush modulation. It can get pretty squirrely too. And then you finally have your program knob that allows you to select between 4 different delay sounds: digital, analog, lo-fi, and slap. So instead of just going on and twiddling knobs, I came up with a few settings that I like to use with the Arp-87. So let's start with one of my favorites. Drowning. I came up with this setting when I was trying to explore just how far I could take the repeats without making them go into crazy self-oscillation. Surprisingly, you can jack the thing up and go on to almost near infinite repeats. This would be something that I'd really like to try with a blend for the expression, something that I'd probably have to rig up myself, just so that I could really control the overall mix. You can really get lost, and that's using the digital algorithm. So you can get a pretty dark digital delay sound just by manipulating the dampen knob. Just to give you an idea of how far you can take that knob, I'll go ahead and strum a chord and then turn the dampen knob up all the way so we can hear that full, bright digital delay sound. And you can even let the echo trail out. So you really have a whole lot to do with the amount of repeats. You can create a nice ambient pad, or you can make something a little bit more rhythmic with the digital sound. In fact, let's go to one of the more rhythmic settings I've come up with on the digital algorithm. like the slap algorithm a lot. It's a lot of fun. Good for that rootsy kind of thing, getting into your country. You basically just use the ratio knob to set your delay time, whereas the rest of the modes you're using the tap tempo switch. But I like using the slap because I can do something kind of wacky with the tap tempo switch. If I hold down on the tap switch, I'm able to go ahead and take the repeats knob from its lowest setting, or wherever I have the knob set, to its max setting. So it's kind of cool for a little spacey moment, if you will. And a bunch of slap echoes going wah 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 wah. It's just kind of fun. Of course, doing your grootsy thing, doing your country thing is a lot of fun. But every once in a while, you just got to get a little wacky. I love a good analog delay, and whenever there's a digital emulation that I can check out, I am almost certainly going to do so. And the Arp-87 does a fantastic analog delay, one that is a lot more versatile than some of the other digital ones on the market, or at least digital emulations of analog, and well, even more versatile than some analog delays that I've run into. The modulation just sounds right with this setting, and it's also a really good one to explore the more extreme ranges of the modulation knob, the X knob at least. So let's go ahead and play some arpeggiated chords, and then we're going to turn that X knob, see how heavy we can get the modulation before things start to get a little swirly. Certainly gets pretty squirrely up around like 2, 3 o'clock. And of course, turning it up all the way, you're definitely going to start to feel that warble, which I like when I increase the repeats and then dampen them and go for something just a little bit more of like an ambient swell, something to create a wash. I like this setting with the lo-fi a lot. I wish I had a good name for it, but the reason that I came up with it and the reason why I'm showing it to you now is because that setting is what inspired me to come up with that little riff. I don't know what this riff is going to turn into. I don't even know if it's going to become a song or something I play just to demonstrate how cool this pedal sounds with the lo-fi setting, but I like it a lot. The lo-fi algorithm is one of the more interesting ones on the Arp-87. When you switch to this algorithm, the X knob controls the width of a filter for the lo-fi repeats. Now at its most counterclockwise position, you get something like this, which is pretty narrow, kind of nasally, but as we open it up, it definitely has a very cool degradation to it, almost where it's like dirty tape echo, really overly loaded analog delay kind of thing. Whatever it is, it's just really cool. And that almost has like a cocked wah kind of sound to those repeats. And they cut through really well. You can really make out those repeats. Let's go ahead and turn the level down a little bit, and let's see how well that cuts through. I like this one a lot. This might be my favorite sound on the Arp-87. And that, my friends, is the brand new Arp-87 from Walrus Audio. This is a very cool digital delay. Like I said at the top of the video, maybe not the most features, but certainly a very well-tuned one, and the features that are included on it are exactly what you would want. I actually really like the fact that you're just setting the delay time with the tap tempo as opposed to a time knob. To me, it kind of, the time knob and the tap tempo switches almost always negate each other, so it's kind of like, can we just pick one, please? Well, Walrus has done that. The modulation on them, really, really cool. Really lush, can get really extreme if you want it to. All in all, just a very well-tuned, simple digital delay. And I can't think of anything more that I would want from a digital delay other than something that's simple and sounds good. But I want to know what you guys thought. Leave me a comment below. Did you like the Arp-87? And if so, what was your favorite sound? Be sure you click that subscribe button when you see it so you don't miss the next episode of Stompbox Saturday. That'll actually come out on a Saturday. And until then, my friends, I'm Sean Pierce Johnson, and I wish you all great tone and a happy NAMM show. Cheers.